So some people think like we're using people when we do research,
Guinea
pigs. We're using them as guinea pigs, like as subjects, like for research. What is your take on that?
That's where awareness comes in.
That's where awareness
comes in. We need to, empower them with information.
Okay.
If you don't know, you are free to believe whatever you want to believe.
Like hantavirus.
Exactly. Okay, so we don't know what's going on with that now. We don't know what's going on with that now. So let's hope that we are the WHO and those agencies are able to manage the information that's been peddled out there. Yeah. So, but I think if we've gone through COVID, we should be able to go through. We'll be fine with antivirus.
We'll be fine with antivirus. Yes. Then the biggest challenge, clinical trials process, because there's multiple phases of clinical trials: phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, highly regulated, requiring high experts, requiring high systems like your laboratories that are so expensive, your scans. Like, for example, let's say you were doing a traditional medicine, assessing how it works in pneumonia. You're talking about the lungs already. They are internal.
Yes.
They're an internal organ. It's not like you can see, like when you apply something, here, meaning that they need to be scans, there need to be x-rays that are done and all those processes on all those systems. And they need to be followed through. So I think that's what maybe that the problem maybe is that research is also very expensive.
We need to come together, to showcase this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And having one voice, like Roseanne, banging, shouting in the wilderness.
Alone, it doesn't work.
No, and that is why we need to come together as a force to say, look, this is Africa, right? We might have our issues, we might have our challenges, but at the same time, we have so much promise.
Hey, Miss Rosanna, welcome to the Breakthrough Clinical Trials Lounge. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. Do you know what this podcast is about? Do you know what we're going to be talking about today?
I think so.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
You do? How long have you been in this clinical trials industry?
About 2 decades.
2 decades, like 20 years.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Now we can tell your age. You don't look your age.
I try.
So you've been part of many breakthroughs, if I may put it that way, many breakthroughs into medical care. Okay. I'm so glad you managed to be here. But the reason we're here is to talk about 3 different segments in this podcast. First of all, is us driving awareness about the importance of research to the community in Africa, the whole of Africa. So I'm so glad you're coming from Nigeria.
All the way.
You're going to educate people in Nigeria about clinical trials today. You're going to drive awareness in Nigeria. And definitely you're going to make sure that after this, you even share it with the biggest country in Africa, Nigeria. And secondly, we're going to be talking about the experts like yourself, the people that are working in the industry. What do they do? What do you do? We're going to talk about that. And we're also going to advocate for more trials to be done in Africa. And the reason. We're only doing like 4% of the global number of clinical trials that are happening all around the world. But how are you feeling? What brings you to South Africa?
Okay, so I convene the TCIS Africa Summit. I would say it's the largest gathering of researchers on the continent.
Okay.
And this year we're in South Africa for our 7th edition.
7th edition.
Just concluded it.
Wow. And you started it?
Yes.
What? And what made you start it?
Creating awareness about clinical research. Actually, it started off in Nigeria, and it didn't start off as the TCIS we know today. It actually started off as a town hall meeting.
Okay.
I felt that we needed to, put more attention on clinical research. And I didn't think we're getting that information passed out as much as we wanted it to be. And also the researchers when I say researchers now, I'm talking about the principal investigators, the regulatory agencies weren't they
were not like connecting, or maybe
they were connecting, but there wasn't so much that was being done. in that space.
Yeah.
So I felt it was time for us to come together and find out, like you said, it's just about 4% of research that's been conducted on the African continent, and majority of those trials were being conducted in South Africa and in North Africa. So which meant that the sub-Saharan Africa, like Nigeria, had
there was nothing much happening.
Next to nothing. So I felt that if structures were built, and the PIs and the researchers knew what needed to be done, then we would attract more trials. So that's how we started. We started with just the PIs in Nigeria having a conversation, and I think that was in 2020, and it went well.
During COVID?
Then COVID hit the next year.
Okay, so it was, maybe 2019.
Yes.
Okay.
When was COVID?
It was 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was 2019?
Yeah. So it means the conversation started 2019. Because the first TCIS I can recall, I think I joined online.
Yes, that was during COVID.
It was during COVID, yes.
So that was 2020. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it was 2020 then. So in 2020 it was COVID hit, and everybody was at home, of course, and we didn't want a situation whereby we won't have the conversation. We needed to keep, talking about it. And thank God for Zoom. So everybody was on Zoom and on Teams. And we decided to go online to have the conference. So it was more of a virtual hybrid conference. And we had people log in from all over the world. And then I think that was when I'd met you before then. We had met before then. Yeah, we had connected before then. Then people signed up to join the conference online from all over the world. And after that, the COVID edition, we were invited to Ghana. We were in Ghana. Then from Ghana, we moved off to Kenya. You were in Kenya.
Yes, you attended Kenya. Yes, I was in Kenya, in Mombasa.
In Mombasa, Kenya.
Yes, that was one great experience.
Yes.
I like the structure of the conference because I remember when we were in Mombasa, I got to see, it was my first time in Kenya actually, and I got to see the big research centers that they have there. I was so surprised when we went to, I think it's the Wellcome Trust in Kilifi.
Kilifi, yes.
Yeah, in Kilifi, one of the biggest research centers there. I was impressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, when we started this, it was not just about, having that conversation like every other conference. We felt that we wanted to also showcase what Africa had to offer. Because if you notice, if you're out here in Africa, people really don't know what's going on.
No.
They want to say, I don't know, I'm not sure about the continent. I'm not sure if you have structures. I'm not sure if you have the expertise or the infrastructure. And I felt that was a way to showcase what Africa had by showcasing the research centers and also giving us a tour of the country we're in. So if you've noticed, the our agenda normally runs from the pre-conference to the post-conference.
To the post-conference, so it can include all this. You get to know the country, and you do the formalities, then you get to know the infrastructure.
Exactly. So we are also promoting Africa.
Yeah.
We promote Africa, promote our expertise, and we get to have those conversations.
And you have it
annually.
So from Ghana, where did you go?
We went to Kenya.
Kenya?
Mombasa, Kenya.
Yeah, then from
Kenya, we moved to Egypt, Cairo.
To Egypt, yes.
In North Africa.
Yes.
So you see, we went West Africa, then East Africa, then North Africa. So after Egypt, we noticed that majority of our attendees were from the Anglophone speaking countries. And of course, Africa also has Francophone countries, and we needed to include them in this dialogue. And for the 6th conference, which was last year, we had it in Senegal. And it was also a very beautiful event. And then now we are here, 2026, we're in South Africa. So the beautiful thing about this is that we've been able to go all across the continent from that little room in Lagos, Nigeria too.
And spreading and showcasing basically the best of what Africa has to offer.
And the beautiful thing also about this is it's not just we Africans. We have attendees from the US, the UK, Canada, Europe, UK, and so it's a beautiful time to showcase what Africa really has.
So were you funded by the government to start this, or you just started it?
Government.
Which government funded you? You were funded?
No, I was funded by my pocket.
You were funded by, so this is your passion, you did everything out of your pocket.
Yes.
working with people that also
Yes.
came together and supported
Exactly.
you.
Exactly. So
Wow.
I have
This is exceptional.
Yeah, so I have a beautiful team, a very hardworking team. Majority of my team members have been on this project with me since the beginning.
Wow.
2019, and we're still going strong today. And also we have sponsors. Also, we have sponsors over time
that
right?
joined.
I've joined. Those sponsors joined us. Then we also have exhibitors
that also buy the
exactly. So that's
the
how
support that you get from the African community
that helps build, and we're able to put up this show.
I mean, I just want to say to them, like, we need to rally behind this. We need to rally behind it, because we need a voice. And that's why I think it aligns a lot with what we're doing with the Breakthrough Clinical Trials Lounge, because we think we're doing a lot, but we don't have visibility. We don't have visibility. We don't show our expertise. And it's so amazing that the community out there still don't trust Africa. They have a perception that we don't have experts. Like, how long have you been in this industry?
So like 20 years.
20
so 2
years.
decades, yeah.
2 decades.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I think I'm also been for about 20 years.
So 2 decades, yeah. I think for me, the driving force was I used to work for a pharma company.
Okay.
And I was actually put on a study as a study manager. And there was a global study that was going on. And of course, as a study manager, and it's global, my instinct automatically went to, we need to go to Nigeria. We need to go to Sub-Saharan Africa. You know, we have the patient population and the rest. And I was told, no, we can't, because we don't have structure. We don't understand how it works.
We live in the bush,
yes.
remember?
You know, and something in me actually broke, you know, because I felt that, you know, why?
So why
won't you come to Africa?
Yeah.
Because it's a perception.
It's a perception.
It is. If you recall, I don't know, if you recall the story of the elephant and the blind man.
Okay, just remind me.
Okay, so I think the story goes like this. So there's this elephant, and they had like 7 blind men, and they said, describe the elephant.
Okay.
So some people probably touched the trunk of the elephant. Oh my goodness, this is so smooth. Another person touched the trunk and said, oh, this is so hard.
Okay.
You know, so people had different perceptions of the same animal.
Yeah.
That's Africa now. And so you can't, whatever perception they have is based on probably the experience, their experience with the continent. But we need to go
maybe what they heard.
What they heard, yes.
Because I don't think, obviously there may be some element of experience, because but then what about the positive experience?
A lot of positives.
Because I have conversation with other people. To say that we've been doing research in areas that are so dangerous, like Ebola research. We've been doing research. Africa has been part of the research in many infectious diseases, like your HIV, your malaria, and all. So over those years, do we still not have expertise?
You know, and I know we have expertise.
We do have expertise. Yeah.
And that is why we have TCIS Africa.
Yeah.
And also we have other platforms like AfriTrials Connect.
Yes.
You know, because what we've noticed is that we researchers and companies, organizations working in this sector, we work in silos. Everybody's doing their own thing, right? So we need to come together, you know, to showcase this is what we're doing. And having one voice, you know, like Roseanne, banging, shouting in the wilderness.
Alone. It doesn't work.
No. And that is why we need to come together as a force to say, look, this is Africa, right? We might have our issues, we might have our challenges, but at the same time, we have so much promise.
But what are those perceptions? Maybe let's get to it. What do you think? Because maybe, you know what? Maybe we're just not hearing the world. But you know what? We need to listen. You know, there's 2 sides or 3 actually sides to every story. Because we see it from our own angle, where we see that we have infrastructure. Like you're saying, South Africa has also been doing trials. We talked about research sites that we've seen in Kenya, the biggest research sites in Rwanda that we've seen. The ones you've seen in Egypt, in Senegal, through this summit that you've been doing. But what if there is something we're not hearing? What could it be? Why is it that you've been in this for 20 years and it's not changing?
I think it's changing slowly.
You think it's changing?
I do. I believe so.
Okay, tell
I
me.
believe so. I believe it's changing. And the reason why I believe so is we have more pharma companies attending the conference.
Okay.
In the past, they would not
wouldn't attend.
We will send messages to them, emails to them.
They wouldn't respond.
Would not respond.
So, okay.
You know? So I believe they begin to see that, that structure, that expertise that we have. And you asked the question, you said, why do I think that's the case, right? I think one of the main reasons would be our regulatory system.
Okay.
Say so fragmented.
Okay.
Our timelines are not consistent across the continent. So those are the things that was one of the main reasons we need to cut this part, but that was one of the main reasons that those were one of the reasons they were really hammering on as being an issue in terms of our regulatory processes.
Being so fragmented.
Yeah, it's been fragmented.
But isn't it that though we have Africa as a continent, we still have 54 independent countries. And I'm trying, I know obviously we all talk about harmonization, but in Nigeria, how many, like the population of Nigeria, do you need help to get the patients? I mean...
No, Nigeria, over 200 million people.
Over 200 million people. That is a lot. That is a lot already. Because I understand. So that, I mean, if you were to deal with Nigeria, it is possible. We're not saying we're against harmonization. I'm against harmonization. But I kind of think if you were to have research centers in Nigeria, you can have as many as you want. What do you think? From 200 million people. Like, I mean, do you think, because the reason why you want to add more countries, it's that you need to also fast track recruitment. You need to get a latest diverse data. But let's talk about before the diversity equation. But we talk about fast tracking recruitment. So if the reason why you want to go to a country, it's recruitment related,
you can get everything from Nigeria.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking, I know why South Africa had been successful in most cases. I think there was a lot of advocacy for South Africa because of the Rainbow Nation, the diversity of South Africa. If you were to read articles back then, it would talk about the fact that in South Africa, you can get diverse patient population. Yes. But also South Africa, it's also a big country. And the other thing is that there's limited... there's challenges with the healthcare system, and there's accessible patient population. So, but anyway, this is just another thought that I'm putting out there, that I do think, obviously you're saying the regulatory infrastructure were also a challenge,
yes.
but
I mean, then that was one of the...
That was then.
Then, but now I can say that for my country, Nigeria, our regulatory system, I won't say it's perfect, but it's way better than what it used to be.
But I see now a higher number of trials coming into Nigeria. Like, if you were to think about it,
I would say maybe it has increased by 5%.
By 5%. But what is 5%? Let's talk numbers. Would you say, like, for example, in South Africa, I know a year we could be doing, when I look at because we have like a South African Clinical Trials Registry. So I can use South African Clinical Trials Registry, and I'm able to see that year on year, we can get 100 plus trials. So do you get 100 plus trials?
I doubt. We don't get
20?
Not too certain.
What therapeutic areas are you seeing in Nigeria?
Mostly infectious diseases. Sickle cell. I think sickle cell disease. Then pretty much that. Sickle cell, infectious diseases.
A bit of oncology. I think there was one center that I saw that was like kind of starting to do oncology research.
Yes, but very, very few.
Okay. Do you have like different pharmaceutical companies in Nigeria? Like a big pharma with their offices?
For sales, you mean?
Oh, for sales,
For
yes.
sales.
Yeah, just the
Sales.
offices.
Yes.
Oh, for sales. You have them for sales.
Sales, I mean, like your
Don't mention them by name.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So we have pharma companies in Nigeria, but mostly sales, not R&D.
So you will say the big pharma is the big pharma, the top 10s, the giants.
Not all of them now. I mean, most of them have moved out of the country. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Also, some are also shifting away from the country.
Yes.
I wonder that is also interesting, because we are saying that we're advocating for more, and now you're saying they're shifting away from the country.
So, but if you recall, I said when it comes to pharma companies in Nigeria, most of the time they focus more on sales. On sales of medications,
which was not necessarily researched in Nigeria.
Not research, not R&D.
Okay.
Not research, not clinical trials.
Yes. Would it be like latest developments like biologics or any kind of medications?
Just medications.
Just medications.
Yes.
Quite interesting. But I mean, as the story is the same, I think across Africa, even though you said South Africa is having a little bit more, there's still more trials or more medicines and diagnostics that maybe end up being here, but they were not researched here. But anyway, that was our introduction. Okay. I want us to talk about what is happening on the ground, like now, because we have two targets. We were going a little bit deeper there for one of our targets, the community. In Nigeria, like we have about 200 million. What do you think is the awareness level when it comes to research, specifically clinical research, not market research? What is the awareness? Do you think like a regular Nigerian, not in healthcare, knows about clinical trials? What do you think? Like,
I don't think so.
You think they don't know? So let's say you were to start a research center now, and you want to recruit participants in an area that do not know research. They wouldn't understand what you're talking about at all.
No, they will not.
They will not.
You would have to. So it depends. It depends on the area that you are trying to recruit from. But in most cases, because when it comes to research in Nigeria, usually you use the big institutions, the big government, hospitals, institutions, and you have very, very experienced medical professionals and PIs and researchers there. So in that case, they would always provide awareness. Okay. They'll go into the community. That's why we use a lot of community engagement personnel. They'll go into the community and talk to them about research and inform them about the research that you're trying to carry out. That's the way that's usually the first contact with research when you go out to recruit participants.
Did COVID drive more awareness?
I think so. I think prior to COVID, people were not really talking much about research, right?
What was the conversation
during
around COVID, like on the ground?
People didn't know what it was. Everybody was scared, worried. Nobody knew what it was,
But when the vaccines
came, of course, there was a lot of misinformation out there. People's reaction to it. Some people were told, "Oh, you can't get that vaccine. You're not sure of what it is." So there was a lot of
was there any research done in Nigeria for COVID?
Yes, there was. There was. But I think, the research was more of after the vaccines had already been administered. And I think there were a couple of studies that were done.
So some people think like we're using people when we do research, guinea pigs. We're using them as guinea pigs, like as subjects, for research. What is your take on that?
That's where awareness comes in.
That's where awareness
comes in. We need to, empower them with information. Okay. If you don't know, you're free to believe whatever you want to believe.
Like hantavirus.
Exactly. Okay, so we don't know what's going on with that now. So let's hope that the WHO and those agencies are able to manage the information that's been peddled out there. Yeah. So, but I think if we've gone through COVID, we should be able to go through. We'll be fine with hantavirus.
We'll be fine with hantavirus. Yes. So maybe actually it makes the conversation even more interesting because it's happening right now. With the hantavirus. So so if now someone say no, we have a vaccine for hantavirus, let's say we had actually, and now we want to start vaccinating people because we realize that now it can spread human to human. Because now the conversation was that it doesn't spread human to human. So let's say now you as an expert in research, how would we go about? How do we go about making people understand that okay, we do research?
Mm-hmm.
Where would we begin? How do we convince people? Because this is our job, really.
I know.
It is our job.
I would say we survived COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got the vaccines.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but people didn't necessarily trust vaccines.
Of course, they did not.
They don't. Yeah. I mean, we cannot run away from the fact that on the ground,
people still have,
especially I don't know in other countries, even other countries, people
everywhere.
have a lot of thoughts when it comes to COVID
Exactly.
and the COVID vaccine.
We know.
And I mean, I usually say from our end, we had a public emergency. There was a pandemic,
Yes,
and scientists needed to do
something
what needed to be done. And scientists focus on understanding how the virus affect the body and what systems in the body are affected when you get that virus. And then they started working on diagnostics first of all. How do you diagnose it? That is the first thing. That's why we later had kits that could diagnose. But before that, it took some time to even get your results.
Yes.
Then they started looking at the vaccines and the treatment, because now they look at what works against what the virus does in the body, you know? So it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So I think science is quite interesting, you know?
Yes. We just need to be included
in research. Why this inclusion? Why can't you do your own research? It sounds like you want hands out.
No, but that's the point. We don't want hand out.
But you say you want to be included. By who?
Included now. When I'm talking about included now, so you have all this all the
big
trials that are ongoing, right?
By who?
By the big farmers, like you said.
Why can't you do your own things? Africa.
Okay, so
Africa.
So part of our just concluded summit.
Yes.
Was how to push for African-led clinical trials.
Okay.
But at the same time, there are trials that are ongoing. The medications are being developed as we speak.
Yeah.
But our data is not included in it.
Okay.
Right? So I'm saying that whatever medications are being formulated out there, we should be included in the outcome of that medication. Because I believe that there are some medications that works better in, say, the Caucasians than in African ethnicity, right? So it depends. So including us in the research, you know, it gives us a voice.
It gives us a voice.
It gives us a voice while we're still advocating for our own African-led research. It's very important we advocate for our own African-led research.
But maybe, like you said, that like for example, you saw there's more sales company in Nigeria as an example, but there's less research being done.
I think it's actually everywhere.
Everywhere, actually,
yes.
Everywhere, like in Africa.
In Africa.
So, meaning basically, we're not included in those medicines that we are using.
Exactly.
Yeah, but guys, don't stop taking your medicines because of us. All we're saying is that when it comes to research, we need to be included.
That's what I'm saying.
We're advocating for inclusion.
Yes.
Because in the end, we're all patients. We're going to use those. We're already using them.
Even if we're not included in the science that designed that medication. Yes.
We're already using it. But what? So you're saying that the conference was also to advocate for Africa to be more innovative.
Yes.
So what stops us? I mean, are we not innovative?
We're very innovative.
Okay.
But we need so much in terms of funding. You know, Africa, we've always been dependent.
Funding.
Yes, we've been so
there
dependent.
There was funding cuts.
Yeah, exactly.
So where are we going to get more funding when there's funding cuts?
So because we've been so donor dependent, you know, it's now time for us to, you know, tell ourselves the truth.
So we were spoon-fed?
Yeah, of course.
Did we ask to be funded?
Well, we took it. We took it. We took it, and it was convenient.
It was convenient.
It was convenient. We didn't have to go. We didn't have to do so
we like
much.
Children.
So now they've said, okay, we're pulling back. You're grown. You're a big girl now. So
do it yourself.
Out. Yes, and that's where we are. That's where we are as Africa, and we need to actually step up. Because we can't we have to put our money where our mouth is. We can't keep saying, oh, we have the expertise, we have infrastructure, we have all this, we can do all, and yet you still want
want donors.
Yes. So we need to look inwards, because we do
have... So it's a wake-up call.
Yes.
So we needed to be shook a little.
The government.
Shaken a little.
The government needs to understand why we do research.
Will the governments understand?
That's why we need to start advocating. And I was so glad that the Minister of Health was able to attend the conference, even not in person, but he was able to send a representative.
Yes.
And he also he gave a very, very good speech, which shows he's interested in research.
We cannot ignore anymore.
We cannot.
Actually, research it's something that needs to be embedded.
It has to be. Wow. So if we can get our government to understand what research is and how beneficial it will be to the people, then I think we've won our case. I'll say 50% won. Because get the government together, get the stakeholders together, get the researchers together. Let's pick one voice.
So, we're still struggling with funding healthcare. We're still struggling. Do you think people have access to medicines? Because the donor was not just only for research; it was also donation for healthcare. So
so not just research, also manufacturing.
Also, manufacturing as well.
That's all.
That is another discussion. Manufacturing, because all the medicines in most cases that we're using, even the vaccines, are manufactured. Are you telling me even the vaccines that we give to the babies when they are born, they are not even made in Africa? So they are shipped into Africa.
Yeah.
So it is a big challenge. Yeah. But I don't think it's one that we can solve today. Let's stick to research, because manufacturing on its own, maybe we're going to get other people to discuss this, because that is something else as well. So, you know what, I used to, so we're consumers.
We are consumers.
We're consumers.
Yes.
Sure. So it's like eating bread, but you don't know how it's made.
No, you don't.
Just happy to wake up in the morning and you find it in your pantry.
You don't go to the bakery. You don't even know.
You don't know where the bakery comes from. You don't know the recipe.
Nothing.
Guys, so basically to our audience in Nigeria today, South Africa, the whole of Africa, ask yourself, how is the medicines made?
Yes, exactly.
Because we're just consuming.
We're consuming. So you can take a medication that works for someone else, and the person goes, oh, I feel better in one day, and the person is good, and you keep taking the same medication,
but it's not necessarily
working for you.
So that's why we need to advocate for more. But why can't we use our traditional medicines? It's just
I'm not a traditionalist.
You are a scientist.
But I believe that, of course, we have herbs.
We have herbs.
We have herbs. So that's another.
But they do work, isn't it? Isn't it like our forefathers were using the herbs?
They were using herbs. And some people used it during COVID also.
They did use them. I remember there were stories during COVID, like, why can't we use our own herbs?
Yes.
We have. And I think one country was very adamant about that. You know how I give an example of that, man? How to make it, to explain to people. Would you walk in a bridge that is not built by an engineer? That's how I say it. Would you would you drive in a car built by me? Will you drive? Me, I don't even have any skill when it comes to electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, whatever engineering. Why is it easy for us to accept things, especially outside of our body, but it's easy for us to take things in our, that can affect the entire system, our operation system, Why is it so easy? Because, for building a bridge, we need a plan.
We do.
We need engineers.
That's true.
We need to know. We need to have quantity surveyors.
Yes.
We need every element of it.
To make us feel safe.
But when it comes to our medicines, how do we empower? Even, I support traditional medicines in a sense that I do believe there is a place for them.
There is a place for them.
Yes, it's just a matter of understanding how they work. And when they work in the body, what systems in the body, how do they flow because that's what they teach us in biochemistry. We need to understand.
I know, but before education came,
It was before education
came. Our forefathers lived here.
Yeah.
And they used herbs.
They were not eating what we are eating.
No,
genetically modified apples.
Yes, they were not. And they didn't know the science behind it. They didn't understand the way it moved in the body.
And they lived longer than us.
They lived longer than us.
That's a good one.
Yes. So I also advocate for,
But we need to understand.
We need to understand the way it works. I forgot, there is a group of people that focus on plants, plant medicine.
Yes.
I forgot, do you recall what they're called? I can't remember.
In South Africa, within the South African Health Product Regulatory Authority, there's what they call complementary medicine.
I think in Nigeria it's NIPRID. Is it NIPRID? In Nigeria, NIPRID. I can't recall.
Even in South Africa, I'm sure there's lots of, I know there are some universities that have established research facilities and research teams that focuses on understanding traditional medicines. There's also there's a lot that has happened in naming them, first of all, and classifying them, understanding them. So there's a lot that has happened with traditional medicines. So it's not necessarily, I think the biggest challenge is that clinical trials are very expensive. Because I think there is innovation even in academic institution. But then the biggest challenge, clinical trials process, because there's multiple phases of clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, highly regulated, requiring high experts, requiring high systems like your laboratories that are so expensive, your scans. Like, for example, let's say you were doing a traditional medicine, assessing how it works in pneumonia. You're talking about the lungs already. They are internal.
Yes.
They're an internal organ. It's not like you can see, like when you apply something, here, meaning that there need to be scans, there need to be x-rays that are done and all those processes on all those systems. And they need to be followed through. So I think that's what, maybe that the problem maybe is that research is also very expensive.
It is expensive.
It's very expensive. So maybe let's talk about you a little bit. Do you want to talk about you?
I already talked about me.
No, I think you are exceptional in a sense that you talk about you run TCIS. At some point you're adding Afri Trials Connect. You also run clinic research, which is also a CRO. You have teams in clinical research, you have teams in Afri Trials Connect. Now you have teams and supporters in TCIS all around Africa and the world. How do you do it?
That's a good question. I don't know. I would say having a good team.
Having a good team?
Yes, a team that believes in you and sees the vision and also sees the vision and supports it. And we just move, one thing about me is I get an idea. I don't sit on it. I move.
You move with the idea.
I move with the idea.
You don't think, what are the risks?
No.
How much money I'm going to lose?
I do think about the risk, but I do think about the risk.
Yeah.
But when it comes to research, if everything I've done is within research, right? So I started off with clinical research, clinic research, which is the CRO. And
how long have you been independent?
20.
Independent?
2010.
Oh, from 2010. Oh, okay. So like 20 years. But 2010, like, wow.
2010 is what?
Yeah, when there was World Cup.
Was that World Cup? No.
2010 when there was World Cup, were you still independent?
Okay, that's 2010.
Yeah.
So we are 16 years.
Oh, wow. Yes, so it is 2010.
Yeah, 2010.
So 16 years you've been independent. Oh, and doing this in Nigeria?
Doing this in Nigeria.
Wow.
Yes. So 2010, then of course the Principal Investigator Summit TCIS started because of course you're trying to build your company and you realize that you have all these gaps and you're like, if I have to do well in my business, we need to plug these gaps and find out how we can fix the system so we can get more trials into the continent. Into Nigeria, not the continent now.
Oh, at first it was Nigeria. Okay.
Right? And and when I started, after a couple of years, we noticed also that they would ask, how many sites do you have? What's their capability? All those feasibility questionnaires has been sent. And you as a researcher know that the feasibility stage is usually is quite long, because you have to now search for sites across the continent before you decide to make your site selection of those sites. So we felt that having putting together the AfriTrials Connect platform was a way to showcase sites across the continent. Because like I said, sites work in silos, right? We don't know what somebody in Zimbabwe that has a very good site does not know that there's another site in, say, Lagos, Nigeria, right? And you have sponsors reach out to you. So our job, we felt that having all the sites that do not have that visibility on that platform would create visibility for them. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Okay.
So what we've done is we provide the platform, the sites get the visibility, the sponsors now would not need to have to send out like 20 questionnaires, visibility questionnaires.
So the sponsors that also knows less about Africa. So you're also using that system to showcase and say, actually, we have pharmacies, we have laboratories, because you also have like the whole infrastructure loaded into your app. So do they like access it for free? Can they go and log in and check?
No, so you don't access for free.
Okay.
So you can log onto the system and query the system to say for example, you need a you need a site for say sickle cell study across the continent, and you need probably 5 sites. Maybe your goal is 5 sites, but usually they'll start from 10. Right? Then they'll lower it down to 5. But what we are doing with AfriTrials Connect is to cut down startup time by almost 30%. Right? So you don't have to go through all that.
Okay.
So going on a platform. You get to put in the, what do you call that now? The therapeutic area you're looking to recruit from, the countries you're looking to recruit from, and the phase of study. So once you've added that, once you've imputed that in the system, it automatically brings up sites,
the qualifying site,
across the continent. Who, number one, have experience in research, phase 3 studies, have, say, the sickle cell experience, and also have... now, of course, their expertise and the rest. So it's easy for you to make that decision. So you don't have to kiss 10 frogs first to just get the 5 sites you want. Yes. So that's what we do with AfriTrials Connect. So they can access it, and of course at a fee.
At a fee, yes, madam. Yes, madam. I love it. And then now you also started a logistic company as well. I saw you also have partners in South Africa. Oh my God.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So like I said, it's about building an ecosystem.
An ecosystem, that can be able to cater for the whole value chain.
Exactly.
Basically.
So, yes.
Wow.
So we're creating awareness about the country. We love Africa.
Yeah.
Right? Africa is our home.
You have no other home.
We have no other home. So we need to create
the other
an
speaker says, I only have one passport.
Exactly. So I only have one passport, right? So Africa is our home. So whatever we need to do as clinic research, right, is to build an ecosystem.
You need to make it work.
Make it work. We cannot fail.
We cannot fail. We have no choice.
Right? So that's why we also went into logistics. Yeah. Because we understand what is required to actually move samples. Yeah. From one place to the other. Right?
To make it easy for those partners that want to come into Africa.
Yes. So yes.
So yeah. I mean, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any questions for me? I've been asking you questions. I tend to take over.
I know. And you're also doing great. I mean, we're here today. This podcast, I think, this is the only podcast. I don't know if this is the only podcast that talks about research.
It is the only.
Thank you.
I'm joking. I don't know. But I will, for now, let's keep it that way.
So I think this is the only podcast I'm aware of that does that, which is a very, very great initiative.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's also a way for you to, provide information to people that are not, that know less about clinical research. Then also your site. You're also the director of the
research center.
Komomani. Komonani
Yes.
research site
Yeah.
in Limpopo.
Yeah, in Limpopo province. One
South
of the
Africa.
province that has like less than 13 research facilities.
Mhm.
South Africa as a whole, I mean, when I usually do this a lot of time, like I pull data. We have about 1,500 or 1,800 research centers, different expertise, but majority located in Western Cape, which is where Cape Town is,
Okay.
and Gauteng, which is where we're at now, in Johannesburg and Pretoria, and then others in KZN. KZN is KwaZulu-Natal, where Durban is. Usually say where Jacob Zuma is from, because everybody knows that. And then, so provinces such as Limpopo, they need to be included.
That's good.
So this whole thing of inclusion is not necessarily global to Africa. It's also Africa to Africa. And in country as well.
And
because in South Africa, everyone that thinks of doing research, they're looking for sites in Gauteng and also in the Western Cape, because that is where the hub is.
Easy access.
But then what about all the other areas? Should the people there not get to understand research and also have a choice? I mean, if there's a young person diagnosed with cancer today, they may have challenges accessing treatment faster or latest treatment that could even help them not progress faster, because some conditions, it's also about how you manage them so that you can prolong life and stuff like that, or maybe even go on remission, so we're bringing on that infrastructure. It is... it's a huge undertaking because everybody is focusing on doing trials in these areas.
Well done. Well done. And also you're part of a consortium of sites.
Yes,
so tell me about that.
So with that, it's called a site network organization. It's called Eminate.
Okay.
So we currently have 14 sites across South Africa. And how that works is that if you want to do research in South Africa, you can actually contact Eminate, and we find we basically provide our sites. Yes, our sites are highly capable. Some of the sites have been doing clinical trials for over 20 years. And different therapeutic areas and oncology, in anything you can think of, all therapeutic areas, rare diseases, vaccine. We even have sites that, like, if you were to do studies like vaccine-related studies, they can get patients within 100 patients within like few days, because that's how good, and they've been doing this for the longest time. So
which is what the sponsors want.
And multidisciplinary teams that comes together to make it work. And I think it's all about the passion. I think when you want to work in this space, guys, don't even think of mine. When I started, guys, because I was young, I thought we were black diamonds. Buying a BMW meant nothing. You get a job today, you just buy a BM. It was not
nothing like that.
We thought there was money. We got hooked into it and realized that I should have been an engineer.
So
it's more about passion.
I tell people, I said, going into clinical research, it's not for the faint-hearted.
No,
it's not for the faint-hearted.
You work like but the love, the fact that it's purposeful.
It is.
You have to have the love.
You're contributing to something great.
Actually, because at the end of the day, you're saving life.
You're saving lives.
I might not be in the theater doing that heart transplant, but some of the diagnostics that they are using there, the treatment that they're going to use there, I was part of it. I was part of major breakthroughs. I was part of major breakthroughs. I think I've been part of this one drug. They call it an anti-PCSK9 drug, which literally can lower cholesterol to nothing with no side effects. That one for me. And I was also part of one other blockbuster molecule for asthma in children. Like literally that's why the podcast is called The Breakthrough, because I've seen so much breakthrough come in.
Terms of
yes. Obviously there's been lately with the lenacapavir, the jab for HIV.
Yes.
PrEP. That a major breakthrough. That's what science brings into the space. So obviously there are other issues that comes on board, just like in any area where even in government you find corruption. It's not like in science, there is always space for that. But the reality is that we need science.
We do need science.
We do need science to study the disease, to get the diagnostic, to get the treatment. Some says, why not the cure? But
we need to start from somewhere.
We need to start from somewhere. I said the body is very complicated.
Yes.
You need a cardiologist for the heart. You need
pulmonologist for the lungs.
It's just too complicated. So for me, I mean, I just play in one area, but there's so many areas
that you can
that needs a whole lot of expertise
Yes.
to make the system works.
And that's why once you've chosen an area, focus on
you
it.
focus on it. You focus on it so that you become an expert.
Yes, focus on it.
But I'm very happy you could join. You could come through. I'm very happy that you're driving this initiative, and you're doing so much. So keep on working on it. And you're part of the breakthrough now.
Yes, I am.
As much as I'm part of TCIS.
Oh, of course.
And I'm so excited that I'll be joining you in Lagos next year.
Yes, you will be joining us in Lagos next year.
We're going to Lagos next year.
Yes, you are.
And South Africans must know Nigeria and South Africa can work together perfectly without competition.
No competition. we are siblings.
We are siblings, you know?
We're siblings.
But maybe it's just sibling rivalry, I guess. If siblings, maybe it's sibling rivalry.
No, we could do better.
We could do better.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Do you have like final, what would you want to say as your parting shot?
Africa is our home.
Africa is our home.
Yes, it's our heritage. And we must be included in that science.
Yes.
That shapes the global health.
Okay.
We must be included. And Africa is ready.
We are ready. And capable. Oh, Africa is ready. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I think I'm inviting people all around Africa, more special with this. I want the people in Nigeria to follow the podcast. They must subscribe.
Yes.
We need to ensure that we keep the conversation going. NAFDAC, please make sure you share this podcast, guys. NAFDAC is the regulator in Nigeria that regulates all the clinical trials, all the medicines and everything that is happening. So I'm inviting you, people from NAFDAC, to also share this podcast and then also add your comments so that you tell us the areas that we must improve in and what you want us to discuss. And if you want to also be part of the conversation, also just send us an email. You can always just contact us at info. I think I'll put in the... You'll find the email there, but subscribe. This is the Breakthrough Clinical Trials Lounge with Dr. Nyeleti Bikim Tombeni, and our purpose is to educate those that knows less about clinical trials and to talk to the experts that are doing clinical trials so that they can show the expertise that Africa has to advocate for more clinical trials in Africa. Double digit, guys. Double digit of clinical trials. We can't be 4% while we are double digit of the population of the world. So thank you very much, Roseanne. Really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.